Welcome to the Cavalier Corner, a show in which we'll be discussing all kinds of fun topics related to student life. And today we have a very special episode, our second part of the conspiracy theories. Today we'll be talking about space conspiracy theories. My name is Giuliana.
I'm Camille.
And I'm Carly. All right, everyone. Today is Conspiracy Theory Day, and it is Space Edition. So, this episode, we will be discussing the following: moon landing, aliens, other dimensions / parallel universes, and maybe some other things if we have enough time. All right. So, before we get started, we did do a survey. Camille, would you like to talk about it?
Yes. So we took an on-campus survey and we asked JCC students what they thought they thought the moon landing was real or fake. 20 students said it was real and 2 students said it was fake. What do you guys think?
All right. And so for those of you who don't know why people are conspiracy theorying about why the moon landing is fake, we're just going to give a little history and why about the moon landing. So this conspiracy theory is probably one of the most famous ongoing theories to this day. Little background on it is around July 20th, 1969 was a very famous day in history because that is the day that man landed on the moon. So, however, some people were not entirely convinced. Some people believe it was all a giant setup so that the US could beat the Soviets in the space race. And the space race was just basically us racing against the Soviets to get to the moon first. It's like, ha, I beat you. We're smarter. Ha. All according. So, these conspiracy theories started around during the time of Watergate, which is when the Americans' trust in the government started to crumble hard and fast. This is all according to history.com. So, but with that being said, let's jump into some of the famous conspiracy theories. So the first one is that in the picture of the moon landing, when they're putting the flag like in the moon, the flag looks like it's blowing in the wind, but there is no wind on the moon.
Ooh.
So strong theory. It could be a strong theory, but it was later debunked because people are like, well, there was actually rods in the flag, so it would be horizontal. So it's just not a hanging flag, which was a strong one. If I would not have known better, I'd been like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, you'd be easily.
Yeah. All right, little shady. All right, and then the second one is you cannot see the stars in the pictures, which this one isn't as strong because, I mean, if you go out on your back porch at night and try to take a picture of the stars, like, you don't really see the stars that well. I mean, if you really think about it, you go back and you're like, it's so pretty, and then you look and
it would be a conspiracy theory if they saw the stars too.
They saw the stars. It'd be a reverse, right?
Yes.
So the next one is the shadows in the pictures don't look right. Like the way the light should be hitting, it doesn't look proportional to, And so people are like, oh, those are just Hollywood lights that are shining in.
Oh.
But because since the only light source is the sun, they're like, well, then it should be casted this way. But with the reflection of like the moon, the ground, it does make it a little distorted. So, science-y. Ooh.
Hey, that's how I feel.
Right? They're like, I was having to do all this research and I was like writing things down. Then I had to do double research because I was like, I don't know what this term means.
Story of my life. That's how I feel about every science class I've taken.
And the moon landing was filmed. I've heard of this one a lot from a lot of people, that the moon landing was filmed by Stanley Kubrick, who's a famous director. And in 2001, not 2001, that's the name. He filmed a movie that was 2001, A Space Odyssey. And people were just like, they were starstruck after they like watched it. They're like, oh my gosh, that looked so real. Like I felt like I was there. And they're like, wait a minute. Seems a little too real. They're like, well, what if, like the government hired Stanley to film
do
the landing because it was so real. And everyone's like, the government and like NASA are like, no. And Stanley's like, no.
Oh
Because
Lord.
he had apparently hired what did his history.com said he hired aerospace engineers and astronomical artists to help it make it more real.
Yeah, of course.
Which yeah, it's a good thing for the director to do.
Yeah.
That's what they all do, because you won't have knowledge in every aspect or every fields of the movie that you're making. So you always do research, because that's when I was like, for Grey Anatomy, let's go use movie series references. I was like, she wrote, like Shonda Rhimes wrote Scandal and all these politics and lawyers movie because of How to Get Away with Murder. And I'm like, how does she have all this knowledge? And my mom was like, she doesn't. She just gets people who have the knowledge to, explain the terms, write it, and then she goes back through. So that's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And if it looked tacky, I bet we'd be the ones complaining.
Right.
It's like
it looks terrible. Not realistic at all.
Exactly. It's either like too good or it's too bad.
Right? What do you guys think? Think the moon landing was real?
I mean, I don't know. It's not here or there for me.
Right.
Wait, have you guys watched the one that happened since year? Wasn't there like a space thing that happened since year? I was watching it. I don't even remember what I was watching. But because it was the same time I was buying my car and we were on the way to buy my car, and then it was happening and we had to stop. Like, we were outside of the car place, sat on YouTube watching the spaceships take off. I don't know where they were going, but
don't know where they were going, but they were going somewhere.
And I was watching it.
Right? I don't know. I mean, a lot of people think it's real, which I think it is, but I like to question it. Like, I like to play devil's advocate, but a lot of people say that they think it's real because that's a lot of money waste. Like,
I know, because that's what I was thinking. Like, who just gets up and be like, let's fake going to the moon? Sorry.
Like, this will be a fun thing to do.
They just like, I'm like, you know what?
Thousands of dollars in production.
Make a moon landing.
Yeah, let's fake it. Like, let's get up and just go do it. Like,
cross it off the list. Done.
To gain our people's trust, let's just fake landing the moon. Hey.
Right. Speaking of the moon, we will jump into our next topic about aliens.
Okay, do you guys believe in aliens? That's my first question.
I do. It's hard to believe that it's just us humans here.
I think there are probably some organisms out there. Are they little green men,
No.
I don't think so. I think
Amen.
Organisms, like they're not
They might be
like us highly developed or anything.
Yes, I think they might be. Listen to me. I think they are like God and goddess. Like, they just look so breathtakingly beautiful. Because I hate the concept that we have of aliens per se, that we always think they're just little green, ugly looking, strange looking people. I'm like, hey, now if they might be some, drop dead, when we look at them, we're in awe. Because they're just breathtakingly beautiful. I mean, so I would love to move away from that concept as they're strange and ugly and just, now if they have powers, and like, hey,
a little nervous.
I think there's too many like galaxies for there not to be some form of I don't know how advanced or how anything, but there should be at least some. Yeah.
Hey, it would be funny if they were like so advanced that they're laughing at us to keep up. They're like, can you people keep up?
And we're like, no.
We still got 2 million years to go to catch up.
Yeah, you got to give us some time. Because, I mean, do you remember it was not long ago that the Pentagon had confirmed that there's potential possibility that UFOs are real or worth looking into?
Yeah, wasn't that during quarantine though?
Yeah, that was not too long ago.
Confirmed it.
I mean, it feels like forever ago because 2020. Feels like 5 years ago because so many news stories have happened since then that
Yeah, but they released it like in the middle, and I remember when they released it, and people are like, "Come on, this is not the time for this right now. We don't." And Giuliana, you remember in our office that we said we wanted to go? We had a whole, I can't remember, what is it called? A strange place that we all said we're going to go. Yeah,
Yeah.
Area 51. We're like,
Yeah.
sign up. We're all going. And that was kind of cute. Oh, yeah. That's right,
Yeah.
Area
That was almost
51.
a year ago, if you think. That was over a year ago.
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
And some people did show up to the Area 51 raid. Some people actually did show up.
Okay, I would go.
Everyone's
I would
like,
love to be a part of.
take home a pet alien. I'm like,
I would love to be a part of the special forces. I don't like science, so that is going to be impossible for me.
right?
Because it
Same.
requires brain,
That's
brain
a- that's
knowledge.
like science.
And,
Brain knowledge.
and if they just want someone to talk to them, fine. Whole conversation, I'm not that scared. Not that scared. However, I would be intrigued. I would honestly volunteer to if aliens come down or they're like, hey, we're looking for volunteers to, go talk to them or go. I would do it.
Right. Just saying. I do it too. You'd be like, yeah, why not?
It's funny that if I'm walking in strange places, like how you watch so many movies about aliens and stuff, if I'm walking, like say I'm going for a long walk and I see like some water or something creepy, I just always imagine some creature coming out and talking to me and
Right.
and I'm like, hey,
Just hey.
what's this? As long as they don't hurt me.
Right. Right. Just be like, let's just be friends.
But we've had many UFO sightings throughout the year. And I see you noted about the Project Blue Books that started in 1947, and the investigation started about the UFO sightings.
Yeah.
And people claim to be abducted.
Right. That's a huge thing. But I mean, it kind of gets brushed under the rug a lot,
I was watching something yesterday. It was about, I want to tell no lies. Alaska, is it Alaska? Like the Alaska Ice Age or something like that, where people keep disappearing in Alaska, and people are saying it's mermaids. Now that's a whole different theory.
I would love to get into that theory someday.
Yeah.
Saying. But there's this one that I pulled up from the Clarion Ledger about this. He was abducted. It was where is he from? Mississippi, I think. And he got interviewed again after 45 years after the encounter. So basically, him and his buddy were sitting on like they were in, I think it was called like a ship harbor, so it's like where the ships like chill out, and they're on like just a deck. What word am I trying to think? Boardwalk. Wow. Okay. They're just at the edge, fishing, and it was getting dark. It was but it was early evening, and then they see this blue light, and they're like, "Oh, the cops are probably telling us to get off the property." And then they're like, "No, that's not a cop." And then they just call it a craft. And the craft landed behind us, and then we just froze, we couldn't move at all. And then they were just like three floating things, they didn't walk, they floated. He's like, they're kind of robot-ishy looking kind of creatures. I was like, this is interesting. And they were in he's like we were probably in there maybe 45 minutes. I don't know, I didn't have a watch on at the time, and I was like, I get that, not a lot of people wear watches, I get it. I'm like, I believe you. They go back, they get sent back, and they're just sitting there still frozen. They're like, should we talk about this? And they're like, well, I don't really want to. And I don't blame them, because this was he's talking about this 45 years ago in 2018, that was long time ago. That's this is 60, 70s.
1975.
Yeah, it's in the 70s.
1973 probably.
Really, yeah, people are gonna be like, oh, whatever. This dude's just weird. But they talk to the top. Yeah, they talked to the cops and like, so I think one of the sheriffs said he left like a tape recorder in the drawer and left to see if like they'd be like, aha, we got him fooled. But instead, like they just heard that the two men were just like still like shook up about it. They're like, what's going on? So I don't know. I mean, if you get
No.
abducted, like, are they just, is it kind of like how we study animals? Like, we take them and we study them and then we send them back, see what they do. So maybe it's like how, we tag birds to see how they migrate.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, maybe that's what they do. They take us, they somehow, boop, track us, and then over our lifespan, they just see what we do. Maybe we're like a reality show to them.
Now they're having a good laugh right now, I will add. They're probably like, oh, I think this is like, like movie of the year. Like they're gonna caption 2020 to be their best year ever, award winning.
Yeah, and the director who's like their director, like the person who just gambled on it or something, they're like, they won an Emmy. Outstanding movie of the year. Oh,
These are the thoughts of us and not of JCCC.
Yeah, these are disclaimer. This
is our opinion.
I mean, if I was an alien, I would totally. This is what I would do. I would honestly be like, I'd show up every once in a while and be like, "Hey," and then leave just to freak people out.
Yes.
Just be like, keep them on their toes. Like, oh, I'm not relevant anymore? Okay, let me just spread.
Let me get trending.
Let me get trendy again. Maybe on your timeline. Just saying.
Your timeline.
And you know what? And they could possibly be like the sweetest people on earth. Like, they're not on earth. Like that reference makes no sense.
In the universe, I guess.
In the universe. They could, I just hope they have like some form of magic. Well, we would consider it being magic, but for them that it would just be normal.
Right.
Telepath and mind reading.
I mean,
which, let's pause this for 1 second. If you guys could have any sort of magic, only one, what would it be?
Right.
Ding dong, ding dong, ding.
Yeah, like what? So
anything.
Like
I just listed out mind reading, telepathing, flying.
Teleport. I teleport. Never have to pay for a plane ticket again.
Hey, we all love traveling.
I just pop up with my suitcases, a little sunburn. I just came back from the Bahamas. Now I'm off to London.
Nice.
Hey.
What about you, Giuliana? You said teleport as well?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe time traveling?
Time traveling is...
Be good. What about you, Camille?
I was this close to saying mind reading, and I was like, there's just some things you just don't need to know.
I mean,
like,
it would be good if, like, to find out if people were lying to you. Like, if you thought that someone was lying to you, you could just read their thoughts and then know for sure.
Their thoughts.
There's some things you don't want to know.
Yeah, again, there's just some things you honestly don't want to know. But I will go with time traveling. Because time traveling is like teleporting too. So
that's true.
Like the best.
I'd love to be in London during like the 80s, 60s, 90s, all of them.
I know. You can
go to concerts. I would know what concerts I could go to and all these. I know so much.
So many details. Okay. So how about other dimensions?
Those are totally real.
You know what? I watched a movie, and how it was set was that you have basically different dimensions. Mm-hmm. Didn't Flash did something like that too? I think it's like similar, where you'd have Earth 1, Earth 2, Earth 3, and you have the same people. Is this what it meant by dimension? When you have the same, well, for this concept, they had the same people in each Earth, or each version. Mm-hmm. But then they're just going at different pace. So they could be different things based off their personality within each.
Yeah, like Spider-Verse. There's different Spider-Mans. But no, exactly. But the thing is with like space and the universe, it's so hard to study. It's like the ocean. You know there's things out there, but like there's no way of knowing because like we don't have the technology or like the capacity to get out there and research it. You know? It's just but I think they're real.
Because we still don't even know about the ocean. Like we still
Right?
haven't even touched, well, it's going to be weird using this word, but we still haven't touched the surface of the ocean. Hey, that's a play on words right there. Like we still don't even know. We can go there. The ocean is so deep, but we can go so far. Again, as Carly stated, because of technology, we don't have the equipment to do the research,
And
which
you
is
know,
why, like Giuliana said, time travel. I would just go into the future to see how far we've been.
Right?
Like, the developments, the changes, just to see what happens.
I know. I just see the thing with like but I think that it's easier to like make conspiracy theories about space because like most of it or like the ocean if you wanted to, which isn't much of a thing besides like mermaids and things in Atlantis.
mermaids, the
But
planets, and then all the like myths
right?
and legends from other cultures, like snake, serpent. Which I mean, there are snakes that are like water snakes, but like actual giant like kraken.
No, that's totally real though. Have you seen the things that lurk on the bottom of the ocean floor?
Yeah.
Nobody has seen it yet.
My
I
point
love how
exactly.
confident you guys are with your statement. Nobody has even touched the ocean
No,
floor
as far
yet.
as
Exactly.
yeah, like the
You don't know.
translucent fish and all that. Yeah, like I mean,
First of all, there could be a whole universe under there, and we have no clue.
Which that's what Hollow Earthers believe. Which hopefully, if we have time, we can get to that briefly. But I'm just saying. So, like another example of like a other dimension would be like Narnia. You know,
I watched it briefly. I don't remember
I
a
liked
lot
it.
about it.
I loved
But
it.
I remember, didn't they have like half man, half horse? Was it in that?
That's ours.
Okay.
I'm just saying. It's easy to like theorize, but I'm just saying.
it would be
Like, how can you prove me wrong because we don't know what's out there?
nice.
Oh,
you
you got a
just put, like,
point.
information.
You got a point.
Thank you.
There's a big point right there. It was like, hey, we just probably haven't, like the other one, that the earth is flat. No, that was a theory for a very long time.
Hey, nope.
Yeah, it's believed.
Until
And then it's funny because that's what people believe, and then the actual theory was that no, the earth is round, and they're like, ha, take your theory and get out.
You sound just like that.
I'm just assuming is that what they would sound like.
Yeah, that's what it's probably, yeah. Because I can just imagine the scientists walking in and be like, guess what? The earth is round, and everybody just breaks out laughing. The earth is flat. How could it be round? If the earth was round, how could we be walking on it?
They're like, get out with your nonsense.
Kind of pretty much like that with the church. Yeah, that was pretty much what it was.
Yeah. They're like, you're under house arrest. Go sit in your corner. Go.
They had to retract it actually, like literally,
Right?
or else they would be like kicked out of their country. And among other things, but exile.
Yeah, among other things.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
Get into that.
really get into that, but yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
But speaking of Earth, there is we can touch base on this really quickly. Hollow Earth is like it's like a big thing. I didn't even know about it until someone brought it up, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" So basically, it is what its name is. They think it's like hollow, and like it has developed over time. But most people now think there's like a sun inside the Earth, and like land for people. Like it's like people could live there.
Wait, what? I'm confused.
So instead of like a core and all the mantle and the crust, like it's hollow, and there's like a kind of like a sun in the middle of like the inside the earth and like land to live on inside.
So like
Which
journey
Earth?
to the center of the earth.
Our earth, this earth in the center. Isn't that yeah?
That's
so like
creepy.
below us, like super below us, there's like land to live on is what Hollow Earth is about. And like
Hey, now that you just when you think, because there's like natural water coming from the earth. Hey,
Well,
That's just because the Hollow Earth, they have a pond and it's just seeping through. Right.
But like I know there's a book and
Yeah.
subsequently a movie from like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
It's like Journey to the Center of the Earth.
That's where it came from. Yeah, that's what they talked about.
I was like, did that come from that? Because that's what that movie. Well, that's what the book is.
I'm just saying, if it could be inspired, but I think it could. I'm just saying that's an interesting theory, and like the only way you can like get to them is through the North and South Pole. Like that's where the doors are.
I watched that movie, but I'm trying to remember. It was years ago. I need to remember.
2008 when the first one came out.
Yeah, Journey to the Center of the Earth.
With
Brendan
Fraser and Josh Hutcherson.
Yes.
Huh. I swear I watched it.
I did a long time ago. Probably.
Oh, I watched it on theater.
Right? I probably did too.
I guess now you guys know what I'll be watching this weekend. And
Lots of documentaries about conspiracy theories.
Yes. And then I'll be watching the movie Journey to the Center of the Earth just to catch up.
Also, I think the book, I'm looking it up, and the book is from the 1800s.
Yeah, it is.
Like
that's kind of like when it started. It was like a long time ago, and then it has developed into like a whole new theory. And I'm pretty sure I saw a Facebook group for Hollow Earthers, which is like I wanted to check it out, but I totally forgot to.
It's quite interesting. So Screaming Sun.
Oh, the Screaming Sun. So that was given to us by a student who's mentioned that the sun is like screaming at us. Like scientists detected that the sun is like not screaming just to scream, but after doing some research, it's from the European Space Agency. They're discussing how it the sun and like the edge of the sun is screaming like radio screams, sort of like radio signals to warn. It's like a warning sound for a radiation storm, which is intense.
Great.
So it's literally awesome. Yeah, right?
Amazing.
I mean, this is just what we need for 2020. You know, December 31st, the sun just starts screaming and say, "Welcome to 2021."
Boom.
Radiation. Just
radiation.
We love
it. I mean, but that was one that like I had to like really sit down and try to read because I was like, I have
no idea, no prayer knowledge.
The scientific terms being thrown at me are insane. I'm like, so I tried to summarize it as best as I could. Shout out to European Space Agency because I have like no idea.
Can you imagine the sun is just like, you're destroying your ozone layer. I could do it soon.
Literally screaming, get your act together, please. I'm dying out here. And we're like,
I don't want to end you, but it's coming.
This is me warning you. Right?
And so, we're just like,
friends. Daily reminder to reduce, reuse, recycle.
Yes. There we go. And I'm a part of the sustainability committee now, so I will be bringing my knowledge to everyone. Tap, 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 tap.
Tap, tap, tap. Clap, clap. And then, I mean, the other one was black holes, which is like, basically with black holes it's kind of like quicksand. You know, you don't know anything about it, but like you just know not to mess with it ever, because once you're in a black
quicksand is real. Like it's real.
Well, black holes are also
and you know not to mess with it. Stephen Hawking did say that there is like a slim hope that, because sometimes stuff does kind of like slip out of a black hole, that there's a very, 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 very slim chance that if you somehow find yourself stuck in a black hole, then you could get out too.
But is there any black hole? Like, where are the black hole located?
They're invisible.
Yeah. Oh, you mean you don't?
No. You don't see it till you're in it. You're like, oh.
Oops. Ooh.
And according to time, like they are invisible, and the only reason like you can't see is because of their gravity, something like that. Scientific-y terms.
Oh.
So yeah.
Great.
So basically, don't mess with quicksand or black holes. But our theory is they could lead you to an alternate universe or hollow Earth. So
there we go.
This has been a fun Conspiracy Theory Space Edition. Thank you for joining us. And Giuliana, will you please take us out?
Of course. And as always, if you'd like to find out about more events that we have going on, because we have a few lined up for October, Halloween, everything else, check out our Get Involved at JCCC page. As always, we are JCCC Student Life on Instagram and Facebook, and Cavalier Corner on all of your podcast platforms. Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Bye.